Hi everyone. I'm sorry that it's taken so long, 12 minutes late after 12:30. I pride myself in being prompt, but today technology was not in my side. Anyway, so last night, the night before, President Ramaphosa made some changes in terms of level 3 regulations, and we're now looking at level 3 advanced. And these are some of the restrictions that they've lifted. Restaurants for sit-down meals. Yay! I'm actually quite excited about that idea. Accredited and licensed accommodation with the exception of home sharing accommodation like Airbnb. Number 3, conferences and meetings for business purposes, only for business purposes, and in line with restrictions on public gatherings. Cinemas and theaters to be allowed to align to the limitation on the gathering of people. I definitely am keen to not be watching Netflix at home, but actually go watch something on the big screen. I don't know about you. Casinos, personal care services, including hairdressers and beauty services. I think that's going to be good for a lot of people, right? We are going to be seeing a lot more short-haired people and reverting back from the natural hair color to some coloring. So that's going to be exciting. And then also non-contact sports such as golf, tennis, cricket, and others. I do archery. So I think my archery coach is going to be quite excited about the prospect about us getting back to training. But interestingly, what he shared was that there have been 1,674 COVID-19 related deaths. And today we're on day 100, I think, or on Wednesday we were on day 100. That's a lot of people with 80,412 confirmed cases up until that point. That's a lot. And I think as lockdown lifts, we are going to become aware of a lot more people that have been affected by COVID-19. In my office, there's been someone that's been affected. With one of my clients, there have been people that have been affected. And really, this is going to become the new norm, the reality that a lot of us will have to deal with. And it is going to be about how we face that challenge, right? And how we actually deal with those sort of things that come up. When I went to the office the other day, as I was driving, I drove past one of the testing centers in Port Elizabeth, and there were just like queues of cars standing outside the testing center. It was like right next to my office. I was like, how much am I actually exposing myself to COVID-19? And I know that there are conflicting statements about, it's just a normal flu, or, it could be so much worse. And I think at the end of the day, different people are going to respond differently. But because we are going to be facing this on a more regular basis, and the more lockdown lifts and the more our restrictions lift as we go to the shops, as we have domestics coming into our homes, we are going to be exposed to COVID-19 a lot more. And the reality is our businesses and our customers will continue to be affected. And we need to make sure that we are managing those fears of our customers and even our employees, like making sure that we are helping them to get through this anxious period, because it is causing anxiety for a lot of people. But so if we think about the business a little bit, my question for today is really around cash flow and what you can potentially do to stimulate cash flow in your business. And I think with lockdown lifting, it's freeing us up a lot more, and more businesses can return to normal. But it's still going to be tough to make sure that cash flow is starting to turn around. And if you haven't been able to use this lockdown period to make sure that your pipeline is solid and you can just hit the ground running, it's going to be a tough little time still lying ahead. So if we think about the COVID-19 relief schemes that are potentially still available, I think a lot of them have been depleted up until now. But firstly, I just want to mention TERS. Okay, if you have not applied for May's TERS payment yet, please do so. I know for some of my clients, we're still battling to get both April and May payments. And maybe just in the comments, I would love to hear what sort of issues you have had in terms of getting payments out of TERS. I've had some issues with employees not being declared by the employer. I've had some issues with foreigners not being registered and not having the ID number being recognized, and a whole array of other issues. And I've battled to get information out of the UIF call center and even on the emails. Yes, there's an auto reply that comes through, but it's not really helping me to get anywhere. So yeah, I would just love to hear what your experience has been, and if you have been able to receive your payments for both April and May, and if people received payments in April, did they actually also receive payments in May? Because that's something else that we found. And there've been a lot of teething issues, I would really like to commend the department for being able to handle the influx of queries, but obviously there were always going to be some issues. So I would just like to know what you had. Then think about PAYE. So there's still that tax relief on the PAYE that allows us to postpone 35% of our PAYE bill on a monthly basis and basically be able to pay that off over a 6-month period. So are you using that? I don't know how many employees you have, but obviously the more employees you have, bigger your pay as your own bill will be, which means this will really become beneficial for you if you can utilize it properly. Then as a business owner and also for your business itself, what are you doing with your provisional tax payments? Provisional tax is nearing, okay, that first payment. If your year end is 28th of February, the first payment is coming closer. And using some of the relief that SARS has offered us in terms of provisional tax will really go a long way towards making sure we can get through this unstable period. And even though they've allowed us to postpone some of the payments, it's not necessarily to say that you don't have to make any payment at all. So I want to ask you, are you busy saving and putting some money aside to make sure that you can pay your provisional tax? Because if you're not doing that and it's just like one big payment that you have to make at the end of August or later on in the year, it is going to potentially come as a shock, right? And you've already had months of shocks. So let's try and just like ease that burden a little bit by starting to put some money aside, see how you can free up some cash to make sure you've got that kitty. So it's not just wiping out any reserves you possibly have at that point. Then I want to ask, what else have you renegotiated during this COVID-19 period? And which of those things can you continue renegotiating? Things like rental agreements. So if you've got office space that you're not currently using, perhaps chatting to your landlord and see how you can change up things, okay? And even changing some of your fixed contracts into more month-to-month contracts. See how you can change your contracts so that they are variable, so that they're based on volumes or on revenue or, you know, something like that. There are a lot of options that are available to us. And then one of my homework items for you will be to really go have a look and see what items are chewing up your cash flow, and then what you can do to be able to manage that better. We're going to be doing a webinar on the 1st of July, still free, yay, about getting more cash into your business pocket. And we'll talk a lot more about cash flow management and why profit doesn't automatically mean that there's cash in the bank and why we need to worry about cash flow management. And we'll go into a few more details about the ways that we can help to stimulate our cash flow. So definitely sign up for that. I'll pop the link in the comments below. So do go check it out. And if you missed, just a side note, if you missed our session on Wednesday about unlocking the secrets of your income statement, I will share some content there that you can go check out. That will still be free for the duration of June and July. So you haven't missed it completely. We do have a recording. You can go have a look. Okay, so what I just wanted to mention was that a lot of people don't actually look at their bank statement. Maybe at the end of the month, they're like, okay, cool. Is it a positive or negative? Am I in the black or am I in the red? Where am I at? And they don't actually go have a look at the detail on their bank statements. And it's really important to do that because you need to know where your money is going, especially if you've got a lot of debit orders going off potentially, or there are bank charges or incorrect charges that are coming through on your bank account. If you're not reviewing it on a regular basis, you won't know what those things are. So I really want to encourage you to do that, but not just for your business, also in your personal capacity. No, a lot of people don't look at their bank statements. So let's talk about going personal for a moment here. So there are a lot of tools that we can use to be able to manage our personal finances. One that I really like using is 227.com, which is a tool that's made available by Old Mutual. It is free. I don't know what data they're collecting about you, so just as a side note, be aware. But what I really like about that tool is it allows you to bring in all of your different bank accounts, including loans, including hire purchase, including even loyalty cards. Like I can see what my Pick n Pay Smart Shopper points are, or how many points I have available on Clicks. Okay, so it's really nice to see a holistic profile of your financial situation. So definitely go check that out. And what I also like about that tool is they send you some insights about your spending and they compare it to what other people are doing. And I guess that's what they're using your information for, right? But I find that it's so helpful. Having those insights, knowing how I compare to the average Joe, helps me to make better decisions about my finances. And it also allows you to set up a budget. So that is really cool. So talking about budgets, right? I want to know if you are actually preparing a personal budget. A lot of people have budgets in their businesses, but maybe not so much in their personal lives. And if they do have a budget, they're not really doing so well in terms of tracking actual versus budget. And the same sometimes go for businesses. They've got a budget, but they don't match the actual. So they don't see how they're actually performing between their actual and their budget. So I really want to encourage you to do that, because that's such a good control mechanism that we can put in place, especially if you are strapped for cash. So the same amount of time and focus and attention that we put on our business finances, we should be putting on our personal finances as well. And if you're not doing that in your business, I can almost certainly promise you are going to be experiencing some sort of difficulty at some point in time, if not already. So do make sure you're putting those things in place. Budgets for both your personal and your business capacity. So if we're talking about personal finances, I just want to put in an extra little thing here. I've got a personal finance email series that will be starting soon, which will take you through a number of steps and concepts to help you to get to the point where you can be a little bit more financially free. So if you're interested in joining up with that email series, I will put the link in the comments below as well. There'll be so many things for you to go check out here. But it's definitely worth checking out. There will be a lot of valuable content coming through from there. There will be a few downloads that you can go check out as well. But it's really all about helping you and equipping you in a easy, lightweight way to make sure that your personal finances are under control. And if your personal finances are under control, that means your business will be much more financially free as well, because you know exactly what your expectations are of what you need to get out of your business. Okay, so that's enough for now. I'm not going to take up all of your time today, so chew on everything that I shared today. So just to summarize, firstly, go analyze your bank statement and actually go see what is the biggest cash flow sucker in your bank statement, both in your personal capacity and in your business capacity, and what can you do to start freeing up some cash. Then secondly, go do that personal and your business budget. Okay, it's super important, but don't just do the budget, actually use it and make sure that it is a living, breathing document. It's something that changes as you're changing. And then number 3 is to sign up for our free webinar about cash flow management in your business and how to get more cash into your business pocket. That's happening on the 1st of July, so the link will be at the bottom. And fourthly, because as business owners, we have to make sure that our personal finances are under control. And even if you don't have a business, you still have to make sure your personal finances are under control. So go sign up for that personal finance email series, which you will find in the comments below. Okay, so that is a lot to do. There will always be a lot to do. Our to-do lists are constantly growing, but it really is up to you to decide what you're going to prioritize. And that is going to be different for everyone, because we all have different things that bother us at a specific point in time. So you don't have to do all 4 things, but go choose the ones that are really relevant to where you are right now. And then that's it. I will see you next week, and I'm going to see if I can end this successfully. Oh, cool. I've got some people online. Ayanda, Nadia, and Shani, thank you for joining. It's nice to see you guys. And if you do have any other questions, do pop it in the comments and we can engage more online. Okay, cool. So until next week, I will see you then. Bye-bye.